Yo, what's up everyone? Kyrios here, and today we're going to do an Iron Maid 9 video. Now, this is probably one of the harder hunts to do, especially as a free-to-play, and especially with 4-star, 3-star, 4-star characters. Now, if you have a lot of the 5 stars like Milvis and a few others, it gets a little bit easier. Unfortunately, I do not have those, so I'm going to show you the scuffed way that I was able to do it. And we're going to talk a little bit on if you should be doing this hunt or if you shouldn't be. So let's check the chapters down below. You'll see all the gear, stats, and kill video, and let's get started. All right, guys, quickly, I just want to talk methodology before we get into the character guides and how to down this. So when you're progressing in this game, there's a couple of metas that currently are, and in the beginning of a gear gacha game like this, like some of the others we played, speed is always going to be queen or king. Now, there is some use cases with getting some counter sets. There's use cases for getting critical sets, and then there may be the one use case for a crit damage set. But I just want to point out that majority of the gear you're going to be farming is really the speed set. So, and then getting speed set on a mission that you could do a little bit easier, Centaur 9 or Recital 9. If you haven't seen my videos, check them up above. It's better to get this gear at the Recital 9s and then to get the 2-piece health set or defense set, which there's not a lot of characters that require a 2-piece health set or defense set. Maybe your healers, or maybe even you could even do a 6-piece, but you really want a speed set on them as well because they need to be able to move fast. They may not need immunity for PvP, so that's where you would use a health set. So it's a lot easier to farm the tier 7 or the tier 8 and get those 2-piece health sets on either your power system or into your shield system, and that's going to make it a lot better. And the reason I say this is that attack set really isn't used. Now, we do get that free attack set that we use from the Queen's mission or from the rookie missions, but you really don't need more attack sets than that. If you're bringing these characters into PvP, you're going to get outsped. They're just going to die, and it's just not going to be a good thing. So keep that in mind, that you might be trying to go for Maiden 9, but there's really no reason to do that, especially if you're only trying to get a 2-piece health set or defense set just to complement your gear sets. Now, let's go into the fight and who we have here. So I'm using all 4 stars here. Yes, I'm using Alice, but this fight is really hard. You can do it without Alice, but you're going to have to either out damage it with like characters like Milvis and Shura and a few others, or you're going to have to out heal it with bringing Morris and maybe another healer like Hearing, or another healer that can supplement that. Now, a core unit is you're definitely going to want Gray, especially if you're going for not killing the minions to stop that healing. And then we're going to use a character like Roko to just apply as many poisons as we possibly can. So speed tuning here is kind of critical, especially if you're trying to auto it, which we can auto, by the way. It's just remember there's a lot of RNG in this fight. So if you miss too many debuffs, if you miss too many poisons, if you it's really going to cause the fight to fail, but luckily you lose no energy. So let's go through the gear real quick. So for Roko, I'm using a pretty fast set. I'm using a 187 speed set. Mainly, not really, you don't really need attack, right? Because poisons aren't scaled off attack. They're just scaled off of max HP. And we're really looking for that status accuracy to be above 50% or around 50%. So I'm saying about 60, and I'm okay with that. I would really like the speed to be around 200. That would be a lot better. But I had to share the speed gear with a lot of other characters, which I'm sure you're doing. So here we have just a lot of different gear that's going to supplement status accuracy, some extra speed, some status accuracy. And then this is just really for speed because I already had it built. We're not really bringing it for the attack damage. And then I'm putting a defense set and an HP set on her. Now this is really, you probably want to do double HP. Defense isn't the best scaling stat in the world, in my opinion, but I had to do what I had to do just to make sure that she was able to live through those hits. Moving on to the next character, we do have Gray. Whoops, that's not positioned. Gray, we do need decently fast, at least around the 170 speed. In my opinion, you need to go before the boss goes. And every single time you hit the boss does do a CR push by 15%. So you do have to keep that in mind. So we are rocking some speed sets that we have found by farming the other Centaur 9. And you can see that a lot of this gear is very lackluster. I'm really looking for that HP. I'm really looking for that status accuracy and speed. And some of this isn't fully upgraded because I'm not going to fully upgrade it because it'd be a waste of resources. Now, I'm using this piece just for the speed, not really for the attack. Gray's really not using attack. I should be really using another HP set there, but you're only going to have so many in the beginning of the game, right? And then I'm using another HP with some status accuracy. We have that status accuracy around 58% and speed around 168, which is okay. HP is a little low and defense is definitely very low. So, but if Gray was to bite the dust after round 1 or 2, it wouldn't be a problem. So let's move on to Alice real quick. Alice, we do need Alice to go after Gray in my autoing situation. Now you could have Alice like super, super fast, but then you need to have also your Rocco and your, I would say you would need your Rocco and your Gray to be even faster than mine. So what I did is I nerfed her speed a little bit by taking off her speed set. And then what I did is I tanked her up. You can see I got 12,000, 13,000 HP. You want to make sure you're around 50 to 60% status accuracy again, because you want to be able to land those slows. Now you are going off element, so there is that to take into consideration, that you will get resisted a decent amount. And then my speed sitting around 155 to make sure that she goes after Gray. And then finally we do have Morris, and Morris, we're in the same boat. You want Morris to be as fast as possible. And Morris, you're gonna have a very interesting situation. We're gonna be using her S2 on her and then using S3 as quickly as possible to CR push herself. Now I would love my Morris to be even faster than this, probably like around the 160 to 200 range, but I just couldn't do it with my current gear. But we're doing the same thing. We're trying to stack as much HP as possible for her because her healing scales off max HP. So anything you can do to throw max HP or HP percent onto her is going to help out her healing. So ideally, I would love to have her HP around 15,000, and probably will happen once I 6-star her. All right, so that's really the team. Once again, if I was subbing a few characters in here, if I didn't have Alice and I was trying to double heal it, I would probably bring Hearing in and do Morris and Hearing. Some other characters that are worth mentioning is that you could do Shura, you could do Sirius, and try and burst down those ads with doing a double heal comp. Because once you take down the ads, you really don't have to worry about debuffing and stripping buffs and everything like that. So you have to move really, really quickly. There's a few other characters that are worth mentioning here that I do not have leveled. Let me see if I can find them. One of them is Greer. Greer is actually really good, mainly because of the defense breaking and scales off max HP on that passive, and also puts corrosive, and corrosive is very, very good on this fight. So that's what I have there. There's a few other characters you can sub in. Milvis is obviously a really great character put in there as well. I don't have Milvis, but you do have to have a very geared Milvis and a pretty decked out Milvis. And a lot of us have been pouring our resources into Genga and a few others. So let me show off the fight. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope I answered some questions. And hit me up in the comments down below if you have any more questions as you're watching the fight. And make sure you like and subscribe. All right, quickly before the fight kicks off, there's no real auto-tuning skill logic that you need to do here. Besides Morris, you do want to make sure Morris's skill is either on herself to push her faster to heal more, which is the way that I use her. You can see that second skill is prioritized to position 1 is where she is. Or you want to use it on Rocco, but then you have to move even faster, which is a way to do it. But that's really the only skill priority you need to set, minus having Alice push your Rocco as well.
バシリスク撃て。タイムヒーリングモード全開。ヘッジングキャリオット断射。消毒の時間だ。
ですが奴らを噛み砕け。ほんのちっぽけな勝利なのにバカどもはまた騒いでいる。まあいい、あいつら